We don't get a chance to talk to publicly traded companies very often here, but we have interviewed everyone from Steve Forbes to even Steve Jobs when he was alive, even to a pet crematorium privately held company. It's always great to talk to a CEO of a company, whether they're public or not, but especially when they're doing pretty robust work. PharmaCyte is a biotechnology company headquartered in Laguna Hills, California. That's just up the street from us here in San Diego. And they are developing therapies in the cancer space. That's all I'm going to say, because I'm going to leave it to the CEO and president and general counsel of the company. His name is Kenneth Waggoner, and he is the CEO of PharmaCyte Biotech. Their stock symbol, by the way, they are publicly traded PCMB, and you can go to pharmacyte.com. But Ken, thanks for coming on the program today. Great to have you come in San Diego.
Thanks, Silly. Great to be here. That trading symbol is PMCB.
PMCB, I beg your pardon. And you know what? And the guys didn't get it wrong. I just was dyslexic there for a moment, and the screen says it accurately too. So don't listen to me as usual. Just follow what's on the screen. PMCB is their stock symbol. So talk a little bit about this company, because you know, in doing diligence on this, developing therapies for real diseases like pancreatitis and pancreatic cancer, it's a tough deal. How did you guys get involved, and where are you guys at this point with this thing?
Well, we got involved back in about 2011, further refining a technology that had been around back in the late 1990s, early 2000s. A lot of R&D between 2011 and now.
Sure.
I got involved with the company in 2014 as a CEO. We are on the precipice of actually getting into a clinical trial to treat pancreatic cancer.
Talk about that, because a lot of people hear about the FDA, a lot of people hear about biotech companies, and as a CEO of a public company, especially general counsel of that public company, there's an arc to that story where you start off with an idea, you start off with science, you start off with research, things are happening, and now, hey, we've got something. But you can't just go sell it at that point. You have this thing called the FDA that is supposed to protect us, right?
Exactly.
So talk about, what is that? I mean, for the rest of us who don't really understand it but hear about it, what is that journey like?
It's an incredible journey and a difficult one.
Sure, I can imagine.
And an increasingly difficult one. Mm-hmm. The regulations back in the 1990s, when this technology actually was developed by a large company out of Norway, are completely different now than they were then. Mm-hmm. Much more stringent.
Is that a good thing in your opinion?
In some respect it is. In other respects, it really makes it difficult and expensive to develop successfully a drug candidate.
And the intention, I'm assuming, by the FDA is just to keep it safe, right? Or is it about efficacy, or what is it in your opinion?
It's both.
Oh, no kidding.
But the primary concern is safety, and particularly when you're developing a product like we're developing, which is we're encapsulating cells to put in your body to treat diseases.
Okay, so talk about
that's incredibly unique.
Well, sure, because I don't think anybody's even heard of that before. So talk about that, and that is something you guys call cell in a box, if I'm not mistaken.
We do.
Correct?
It's not a box. It's a perfectly spherical.
Yeah, but for the rest of us, it makes it easier to understand. So that's okay.
Right. It's a name that was picked, and it's not my favorite, but it's one we're living with.
All right. So talk a little bit about that, because the technology, you're developing therapies for the indications that we talked about. But talk about the actual technology side of this thing, because it's not just curing disease. It's not just biopharma, but it's merging technology and biopharma together. I think that's pretty robust.
Yeah, it is. It's a combination therapy device.
Okay.
We manufacture capsules about the size of the head of a pin.
Okay.
Into which we put genetically engineered cells to do something.
Okay.
For cancer, it converts an inactive chemotherapy drug, which we refer to as a prodrug, from its inactive form to its cancer-killing form. That prodrug is normally converted in a complex system in your liver.
Okay.
And what we do, let's talk about pancreatic cancer.
Sure. Horrible disease, as a matter of fact. Isn't it the death sentence? When you hear that, it's one of the worst.
Pancreatic cancer. It's the most devastating cancer, I think, out there. It's the third leading cause of death in patients with cancer. Believe it or not, it's the seventh leading cause of death worldwide of cancers.
When you hear about pancreatic cancer, is that something that can be prevented, or is it just a roll of the dice? You either get it or you don't. Is it a lifestyle choice? I mean, lung cancer obviously is attributed a lot of times to smoking and other lifestyle choices. You know, cirrhosis of the liver and liver cancer sometimes effectuated through alcohol and drug abuse. Is this something that just happens to people?
No, it just happens to people. And here's the problem. pancreatic cancer generally grows between 20 and 25 years before there are any symptoms.
So you have no idea.
Yeah, and what happens by the time you get it diagnosed, if you get it diagnosed, you're at stage 4 inoperable pancreatic cancer.
Stay right there. Stay right there. I'm going to keep you over here because what's interesting about this is what a lot of people don't know. And boy, it sounds like a death sentence, but there's companies like PharmaCyte Biotech that are creating therapies for this. So someday it's going to be actually not horrible news. There'll be a cure for it at some point. PharmaCyte Biotech, stock symbol PMCB. More Ken Waggoner coming up in a second. Stay by.